Hello, my name is Joey Fuller. You may remember this iPhone 2G I showed off in a video a few months ago when it was 10 years after the iPhone had officially been launched. And today I just thought I'd go ahead and show you that it is running iPhone OS 1.0.2. Now I found that 1.0.2 is a little bit more stable than 1.0. So it's quite a different experience using this. You can't actually use it as a phone anymore unless you unlock it. I haven't actually unlocked it. Another one of the major things about this software version is that a lot of websites don't load anymore. The only site that I've seen to be able to load on it anymore is realtek.com, which is a semiconductor corporation. And the reason their site still loads on this thing is because they haven't really changed the interface of it for a long time. So, I mean, it even says on the bottom, optimized for Netscape and Internet Explorer 6. You know, the site really hasn't been updated in a long time, but as a result of that, it still loads on this iPhone. You know, of course, there's no app store. You can't even rearrange your apps. You just press and hold it and nothing happens. There's no multiple pages on this thing. But I mean, things like the clock and stuff are still useful, so you can set an alarm and do a stopwatch, that kind of thing. And the overall look is not really that much different from even iOS 5 on this iPhone 4. Here you can see there's, you know, the settings icon looks pretty much the same. The mail icon looks the same. Safari icon looks the same. Even the YouTube icon, which doesn't work anymore, that looks the same. But one of the other things is that the Messages app is an SMS icon, and then the Messages is just a little chat bubble there. Calendar looks the same. Photos, camera, they all look the same. Same with the Weather app. I mean, I can open it up here, and the interface is exactly the same. So, only difference is that it seems to be the weather information is a little bit different for some reason. But yeah, I mean, it's still iOS, and it still has the overall look. Google Maps looks a bit different than it does on iOS 5. For example, here I can just open up the Google Maps app here. You know, there's San Francisco on both of them. And, you know, the interface is a little bit different. For example, you have to go here to view the satellite view, and then you just click satellite on this. You know, it's a little bit different, and you can drop a pin, of course. You can't even do that on this thing. But, you know, search looks exactly the same. But, I mean, if I search for Apple here, you can see it looks basically the same. And then, of course, over here, there's a little location thing. On this one, that's just switch between search and directions. Directions is a separate tab on the iPhone 4 running iOS 5. Things like the phone application look the same as on iOS 5. So, you know, the icon is a little bit different, but that's about it. Why did I downgrade it? Well, I mostly wanted to downgrade it because I wanted to have the experience of using iPhone OS 1.0. Things like the iPod work just fine. You know, I've been able to sync music through iTunes, and iTunes 11 still works with this. 12 doesn't seem to be able to detect it, so, you know. And of course I can show that the speaker works. So there's that. And of course, things like videos, you can get some videos to load. This is just a video that I had. So things like videos play just fine on it. If you are able to convert it to actually work on this thing, though. So, you know, of course, there's a volume slider down here. It looks basically the same as the video interface on the iPhone 4 running iOS 5. Now, the other thing is, of course, mail, which is pretty self-explanatory. And this was made at a time when .Mac still existed. This was before Mobile Me. This was before iCloud. Gmail does actually work. I have tested it, and the only thing is it doesn't automatically recognize when you've read an email. So when you read an email on this, it still doesn't recognize it as read on, say, a computer or even a more modern iOS device. And of course, things like the camera still work. You can take pictures, not very good quality pictures, but pictures nonetheless, and you can view them. Same as in iOS 5, and delete them. It even has the same little animation when you delete a photo as an iOS 5 little trash can. So until next time, this is Joey. I'll see ya.